Welcome to episode 4 of my keigo mini-series. If you missed the previous episodes, click the suggestion above. In today's episode, you will learn the majority of the irregular verbs in sonkeigo and kenjogo. A list of all the verbs in their original forms is in the description below with timestamps if you want to skip ahead to a particular verb. However, be aware that not all verbs have irregular forms in both versions of keigo. There are also irregular verb forms which I will omit in this list because of their obscurity. My selection criterion is relevance in real life, meaning that some irregular forms that you are unlikely to hear in real life will not be on this list. Before we begin, let's have a quick recap of the regular forms of sonkeigo and kenjogo. In sonkeigo, you add o or go before a verb and ni naru after the verb, as in ohanashi ni naru, whereas in kenjogo, you add o or go before a verb and suru after the verb, as in ohanashi suru. Also, in sonkeigo, you can usually add reru or rareru after a verb, as in hanasareru. If a particular verb does not have an irregular form, use these regular forms instead. Now, let's begin. The list is in 50音順. 会う to meet. 明日ヒロと学校で会う予定. I plan on meeting Hiro at school tomorrow. This verb only has an irregular form in kenjogo, which is お目にかかる. 昨日、偶然駅で先生にお目にかかった. I met my teacher by chance at the station yesterday. 与える to give. 子供に物を買い与えることだけが愛情表現ではない. Buying children stuff is not the only way to express your love towards them. This one does not have an irregular form in sonkeigo as well, but it has a lot of different forms in kenjogo. You will not, however, hear most of these in ordinary conversations, so I will omit examples for the more obscure forms. The most common irregular form in kenjogo is 差し上げる. 一等を引かれたお客様にはこちらの車を差し上げます. We will give this car to the customer who draws the first prize. The other irregular forms of 与える include 献じる and the derivatives of this verb, such as 献上する and 検定する, as well as 進呈する. These irregular forms are rather formal and are used only in formal occasions or in writing. You to say. 昨日言ったことを覚えてる? Do you remember what I said yesterday? The irregular form in sonkeigo is おっしゃる. 先生がスピーチでおっしゃったことに感銘を受けました. I was inspired by what you said in your speech. You might also hear the expression 仰せの通り, which comes from the verb 仰す, which is the sonkeigo that means to order someone to do something, but it also means to say. For example, 仰せの通りにいたします means I'll do as you say. The irregular forms in kenjogo are 申す and 申し上げる. These expressions are synonymous, so one example will suffice. 私は鈴木と申します. 行く and 来る to go and to come. This verb has many irregular forms in both sonkeigo and kenjogo. In sonkeigo, いらっしゃる、おいでになる、お越しになる、見える and お見えになる are all common. いらっしゃる however, is probably the most common. 先日いらっしゃった際にこちらを差し上げるのを忘れていました. I forgot to give you this when you came here the other day. 先ほどお見えになった方が田中様のお父様でいらっしゃいましたか? The gentleman who came here earlier was Mr. Tanaka's father. In kenjogo, 伺う and 参る are the two common forms. 先生のお宅に伺う準備がまだ整っておりません. I am not prepared to visit your home yet. 明日午後3時に参ります. I will come at 3 p.m. tomorrow. As you will find out later, these verbs 伺う and 参る have different meanings. Firstly, 伺う can mean to ask, and secondly, 参る can mean to surrender or to be defeated. いる to be. 誰か家の中にいる気がする. I have a feeling that someone might be inside a house. In sonkeigo, いらっしゃる is the most common form. Notice that いらっしゃる also means to come in sonkeigo, so you need to rely on the context to determine which meaning is used. どなたかがいらっしゃるのは存じておりました. I knew that someone was there. In kenjogo, おる is used. 今家には弟がおります. My brother is at home right now. 借りる to borrow. This verb does not have an irregular form in sonkeigo. In kenjogo, 拝借する is used. 先輩のお車を1日だけ拝借したいのですが I would like to borrow your car for one day. 聞く to hear, to listen. ジュン引っ越しするって聞いた? Did you hear Jun is moving? 聞く does have an irregular form in sonkeigo, but it is not used very often. お耳に入る which literally means enters an ear. すでにお耳に入っているとは存じ上げませんでした. I wasn't aware that you had heard about it. A similar expression, お耳に入れる, which literally means to insert into an ear, is a phrase that means to let someone know. The kenjogo forms of this verb are more common. 伺う, which also means to go or come. 承る and 拝聴する. 伺う is better translated as to ask. Here's an example. お年を伺ってもよろしいでしょうか? May I ask your age? 承る is closer to accept or to understand, as in 社長のご要望を承りました. I have understood the CEO's request. 拝聴する is the closest equivalent to the English verbs to hear and to listen. 先日、先生のご講演を拝聴しました. I listened to your lecture the other day. 着る to wear. This verb does not have an irregular form in kenjogo. In sonkeigo, it becomes either 召す or お召しになる. 着物を召した方がいらっしゃいませんでしたか? Did anyone in kimono come here? くれる to give. As I explained in my video on how to say give, there are a number of ways to say to give. Click the suggestion to learn the difference between あげる and くれる. くれる in sonkeigo becomes くださる as in 先生がくださったお弁当を美味しくいただきました. I thoroughly enjoyed the bento you gave me. Keep in mind that くれる is one of the few verbs that the regular forms of sonkeigo cannot apply to, which means that you cannot say 遅れになる or くれられる. Therefore, you must memorize くださる. 死ぬ to die. 死んだ小鳥を見て心が痛んだ. My heart ached from seeing a dead bird. This verb only has irregular forms in sonkeigo, which are お亡くなりになる、亡くなられる and 逝去する. お亡くなりになる and 亡くなられる both derive from the verb 亡くなる which is the 丁寧語 version of 死ぬ and they are formed regularly. 逝去する is a very formal expression and you don't hear it very often. 先生がお亡くなりになってからもう1年が経とうとしています. It'll be 1 year since the teacher passed away. 知る to know. 例のお母さん亡くなったって知ってた? Did you know Ray's mother had passed away? In sonkeigo, 知る becomes ご存知だ. This is technically not a verb, and instead it is an adjectival verb, but this is not a relevant detail here. ロックというイギリスの思想家をご存知ですか? Do you know the British philosopher called Locke? In kenjogo, 存じる、存じ上げる, and 承知する are common. I have already used these verbs in some of the examples above, but here are a few more. 先生のご事情を存じ上げなかったため、私の配慮が欠けておりました. I was not aware of your circumstances, and I was being inconsiderate. 無理を承知の上でのお願いでございます. I am asking you, even though I am fully aware that this is an impossible request. する to do. 昨日レンと何して遊んだの? What did you do with Len yesterday? In sonkeigo, なさる is used. どうかなさいましたか? Is anything wrong? In kenjogo, する becomes いたす. 片付けは私がいたします. I will do the cleaning. 訪ねるto visit. おじさんの家を訪ねたが留守だった. I went to visit my uncle's place, but he wasn't home. This verb only has irregular forms in kenjogo, which are 伺う and お邪魔する. 伺う has already been mentioned earlier in this video, so I'm going to skip it. 昨日お邪魔した際に携帯電話をお宅に忘れてしまいました. I left my phone in your house when I visited you yesterday. お邪魔する is also used when you enter someone's house, as in お邪魔します. 食べる to eat and 飲む to drink. 食べるのも飲むのもただだ. It is free to eat and drink. These verbs have the same irregular forms. In sonkeigo, 召し上がる is the most common form. 今朝は何を召し上がりましたか? What did you eat this morning? In kenjogo, いただく is the most common form. ご飯をいただく前にはいつも手を洗います. I always wash my hands before I eat. The verb もらう to receive or to be given also becomes いただく in kenjogo, and you can also say 頂戴する 見る to see, to look. 黒猫を見たけどどこかに行ってしまった. I saw a black cat, but it went off somewhere. In sonkeigo, ご覧になる is used. この映像をご覧になっていかがですか? How do you feel after watching this video? In kenjogo, 拝見する is common. 先生のお宅を車窓から拝見しました. I saw your house from inside the car. Similarly, 見せる to show in kenjogo is ご覧に入れる or お目にかける which are similar to お耳に入れる to let someone know and お目にかかる to meet. And lastly, 読む to read. 本はだいたい週に2冊ぐらい読みますね. I usually read about 2 books every week. yomu does not have an irregular form in 尊敬語。In 謙譲語、読む becomes 拝読する。先生からいただいたご本を早速拝読しました。I read the book you gave me. This is the end of the video. The video is not exhaustive, as explained at the beginning, so let me know if I missed anything. In the next episode of this series, I will talk about the differences between the three main forms of keigo, namely 丁寧語、尊敬語 and 謙譲語. See you next time.